Good morning everyone, hello and welcome to today's science lesson. I hope you had lots of fun last week getting outside and looking really closely at the microhabitats near your home. Today we're going to go on something a bit larger scale and we're going to be looking at some of the world's habitats. Should we have a look? Let's go. Woods and trees are home to more wildlife than any other habitat, and they have been around for thousands of years. Woodlands are especially important for beetles, woodland birds, mosses and ferns. Many mammals also depend on woodlands for food and places to hide. Wetlands are very special ecosystems and they are home to many unique species. Reptiles, amphibians, invertebrates, mammals and birds can all be found in wetlands. Coasts are home to seabirds, waders, sea mammals and lots of other creatures too. They soak up energy from the sea and help stop the risk of flooding and erosion. It is important to protect coasts, not only for animals, but for people too. Oceans contain many weird and wonderful creatures, from octopuses and dolphins to seahorses and starfishes, also known as sea stars. They are also home to the largest animal in the world, the blue whale. There are savannas all over the world. Africa's savannas support zebras, giraffes and lions. In Australian savannas you could find kangaroos, wallabies and echidnas. Brazil's savannas are home to tapirs, jaguars and armadillos. Jungles are filled with incredible species. Brightly coloured birds and butterflies fill the skies, whilst monkeys and snakes swing and slither through the trees. Mountain species often have thick, woolly coats to keep them warm. Some mountain animals have specially designed feet to keep their balance on the rocky mountainsides. Even the plants in mountain areas are specially adapted to keep them out of the wind. Okay, so let's find out a little bit more information. Do you remember how plants and animals rely on the environment around them to provide them everything that they need? This means they have to live somewhere that has the right conditions to help them stay alive and well. Because different places around the world have different conditions, the plants and animals that live there are different too. These different animals and plants all have special ways to survive in their special habitat. So today we're going to look a little bit closer at 4 different habitats. We're going to look at the rainforest, we're going to look at the Arctic, we're going to look at the ocean, and we're going to look at the desert. So let's begin with the ocean. Many kinds of plants grow in the ocean, including seaweed, grasses, algae, and even flowers. The ocean contains all kinds of creatures, from giant whales to plankton so tiny that you would need a microscope to see them. Did you know that there are more than 21,000 species of fish in the ocean? Fish breathe underwater using special organs called gills. Many mammals live in the sea, such as seals, whales, and dolphins. These creatures need to return to the surface to breathe air like we do. Some creatures in the ocean crawl to the bottom or they burrow beneath it. These animals include lobsters, crabs, prawns, and starfish. The Arctic Circle is located, which means you would find it, at the very top of the earth. Here it is. It is very cold in the Arctic all year round. The only plants that grow there are grass and mosses. Trees are not able to grow in the Arctic because the ground stays frozen for the whole year. In some places in the Arctic, it is too cold for anything to grow at all. There are many land mammals in the Arctic, including ox, reindeer, Arctic foxes, weasels, wolves, polar bears, and brown bears. Seals, walruses, and whales live here and feed from the plankton and fish in the sea. The tropical rainforests are home to gigantic trees, colourful birds, millions of bright insects, and many different mammals. There are more trees in tropical rainforests than anywhere else in the whole world. These trees are home to lots of different types of animals. Most of them live very high up in the branches where they can find the food they need. Insects, small birds, and frogs feed on the fruit, seeds, and leaves or other small creatures. Tree-living lizards, chameleons, and snakes feed on smaller animals. Plant-eating mammals, such as the flying squirrel, monkeys, and sloths, live in the forest canopy. Carnivores, such as jaguars and leopards, hunt in the trees to catch their prey. Because there is such little water in the desert, not many living things can actually survive here. Animals and plants that do live here have been specially adapted to meet and to live in the harsh, dry conditions. Many desert plants have leaves that collect and store water. Since water is so scarce, which means you can't find it very easily, most desert animals get their water from eating these plants or from the blood and body tissues of their prey. Some animals, like kangaroos and lizards, live in burrows in those deep holes under the ground. This is because they don't get too hot or cold or have damp air inside them. These animals stay deep in their burrows during hot days, coming out only at night time to feed. Camels can drink large amounts of water at one time and can survive as long as 2 weeks without drinking. They have large spread out feet that help them to walk on the soft sand. Our job today is going to be to research a habitat of your choice. So it could be one of the habitats that we've learned about today, or it might be a different one. Researching means that you're going to find out more information about something you are interested in. So I want you to choose one habitat that you'd like to find out more information about. How can you find out information? Well, you might have some information books that you can read either at home or on the computer. You might want to look at things up on the internet. Or you might want to ask people that know more information about the topic you're researching. I want you to choose which habitat you're going to research and draw me a picture of what that habitat looks like. Once you've done that, I'd like you to find out about some of the animals and plants that live in that habitat. What would be really great is if you can find out how those animals live there. What is it about this habitat that gives those animals all the things that they need to survive and keep well? And finally, I'd like you to write me a very brief description about what it is like to live in that place. And that's the end of today's science session. I hope you all learned lots of wonderful new facts, and I can't wait to see some of the fact files that you come up with based upon a habitat of your choice. Have a brilliant time researching, take care, and I'll speak to you all soon. Bye!